welcome to the show. This is a spotlight episode because even though I've known this band practically my whole life, as a matter of fact, this band was founded just before I was born. So, it's pretty much been my whole life. Not to mention the fact that so many of their tracks are on constant rotation on classic rock radio. This is Blue Oyster Cult. And I have to thank my brother Elwood for bringing it to the channel over here. Thank you so much. I appreciate this. The song is called, and this is a long one, folks. Ready? The Seige and Investiture of Baron von Frankenstein's Castle at Oyster. That's the title of the song. So we'll have this link for the song down below in that description box for you guys. Go over there and support. Check it out. Add it to your playlist. And if you want to support this channel like Elwood, well, we have links down below for that too. You could join our Patreon for just $1 a month. And really appreciate you guys for keeping the train rolling down the tracks. If you like the vibe, well, hit that like and smash that subscribe. That's what it's all about. Keeps Stan happy, keeps the train rolling down the tracks. So let's get on to this album here. So this is off of the 1988 album Imaginos. I guess that's how you say it, Imaginos. And it's an interesting band. We have two guys that have been in the band since the beginning. That, of course, is the legendary Buck Dharma, whose real name is Donald Bruce Rozier. Okay, and in this particular song, he's doing lead guitar, and I think backup vocals. The lead vocalist on this song is a fellow named Joey Curzano, which I had never heard of before. So I had to dig him up a little bit. And this is a guy who has worked with a lot of bands. Gloria Estefan did an album with Trans-Siberian Orchestra and has even done some work with the new metal band Korn. Gloria Estefan to Korn. All right, I'm down. And obviously they chose him to be the lead vocalist for this song here. We'll do a lyrical breakdown after we check out the song itself, because it's always about words and music, my friend. Got to do the whole thing. And let me just sub up to Blue Oyster Cult here. They were formed in 1967 on Long Island, New York, Stony Brook to be more precise. This was uploaded to YouTube on May 5th, 2016. Originally on Columbia Records back in 1988. Long history on this band and lots of members. So I was trying to get like the members for this particular track, this particular album. So yes, Eric Bloom, co-lead vocals and keyboard synthesizers, something called a stun guitar. Not sure what that means, but Eric's been there since 1967. Then we also have Albert Bouchard on guitar, percussion, and vocals, and Joe Bouchard, keys and vocals, and a whole ton of studio musicians, session musicians that were involved, including the singer here, Joey. So, that being said, I think we are ready to go on this. Kids, let's buckle up. Pedal to the metal. Nice opening. That's cool. Very spacious. I love the sound of the drums. I've never heard this song. I doubt it. I mean, I'll let you know if I've ever come across this song. But other than those classics from the 70s, once it got into the 80s, I'm not sure if I really followed anything by BOC. In fact, 80s and on. So I have no idea what direction they were in. I believe in the 80s, I don't know if it was the label or somebody in the band decided to change course, tried to be maybe more radio friendly. I think the band split up in 86 and then reformed again in 87. And then this album came out in 88. So dude's got a great voice. I could totally see why he would be chosen for a vocalist for TSO. Absolutely. What a rock voice this dude has. Love it. Nice. Wow, fire solo there. I'm sure that had to be Buck. Hey, listen, I'm not like a big encyclopedia of BOC. So, you guys hit me up down below in the comments. Let me know if you've seen the band live, your favorite album from the band, all of that jazz. I love learning about everything about the band through you guys. I do my research too, but I can't beat that experience of discovering the band for the first time, seeing them live. Where did you see them? What point in time in their history? That's why I love talking to you guys about that. Man, this song is fire. Let me just back this up here. I'm really surprised I hadn't heard it back in 1988. I'm really surprised. Wow, now the drums kick back in. Wow. What production in that. I love the piano. I love the bass line in that. The guitar sounds so full. I can't wait to dive into lyrics because I honestly could not understand anything that was being sung there. I honestly couldn't. It was just like so much production and effect on the voice that I mean, yeah, I could be like, oh my God, Joey's voice is amazing. That, real rock voice. And I'm big on that kind of stuff because I love, David Coverdale and Ronnie James Dio, and you know what I mean. Like I love that kind of stuff. I just couldn't understand anything. So let's check that out. And what is this? This is off of Genius.com. Featuring Joe Carazano here. Now there's like little annotations, little notes. I'm gonna dive into them too, so that way I get the full meaning of what's going on with such a long titled song here. 5th track on this album. And I don't know if the album itself is like a concept album. I didn't see anything regarding that, but So verse 1, obviously Joe, and they have Joe as all the vocal section. So verse 1, on the terminal point of the cul-de-sac, patients are dying, the horses are dazed from the glare of stars, the starry wisdom owned by the Baron, and he's got the cure. So, on the terminal point of the cul-de-sac, the imagery hints at the song's setting, a military conflict at some point in the 19th century. What conflict precisely is unclear, but the German Baron von Frankenstein and his castle at Oyster implied the conflict is one involving a German polity, possibly the Franco-Prussian War of 1870. If so, it would be fitting with the story of the album, as the events of that war were a turning point in the history of Europe and pivotal to the eventual onset of the First World War. How would I ever imagine that the song is connected to that? That line, the starry wisdom, the Church of Starry Wisdom. There's a Church of Starry Wisdom? What? Or Starry Wisdom cult is a cult that worships Nyarlathotep in the stories of H.P. Lovecraft. Oh, I see. It appears in the 1936 short story, The Haunter of the Dark. That's cool. I know that BOC is into like occult type of stuff and writing things like that, so that's always been their thing. The Starry Wisdom. Okay, we know now what they're referring to, what that means. Owned by the Baron, and he's got the cure. The chorus is a drug by the name of World Without End. And those are World Without an End. All start with caps. So why? There's a note. World Without End is taken from the Roman Catholic version of the Glory Be prayer. Its twisted use in this context, calling back to the mention of Holy Mass on I Am the One You Warned Me Of, referring to a previous track. The recontextualized meaning of this phrase, however, is far more sinister, as indicated in Imaginos liner notes, which is, The cycle of poison and war repeats for generation after generation, causing war upon war until all those so manipulated and mutated are finally reformed, indeed redeemed, into what truly is a world without end. There you go. There you go. So that's the chorus. It's just repeating that 3 times. The next verse, come and take this, carpe diem, world without end, carpe diem. You'll be inventor, carpe diem. Invention, letter, earth. And by the way, every line ends with carpe diem. That is the background vocals that we're hearing. You'll be inventor, invention, letter, earth, wind. Ramed, like the real. There's no note on what Ramed is. It sounds like a first name for somebody. Raymond like the real, and real as the rhyme. Imagine this baron, inventor of rhymes. And now it goes into a chorus, but this chorus is not the same as the first chorus. Imagine he was me, and I was called Frankenstein. That's repeated 3 times. What does that mean? The name Frankenstein is, of course, alluding to Mary Shelley's Frankenstein, subtitled, or the modern Prometheus, indeed. Prometheus is the Greek legend of the dude who stole the fire, then ended up having to pay the pet. His punishment was to die every day, have his liver eaten out by, I think, an eagle, only to wake up the next day and go through the whole thing again forever. So that's, a little background on that. An allusion primarily for thematic purposes, as Victor Frankenstein played God by creating life. The Baron von Frankenstein puts the power of God in the hands of mankind to sow conflict, providing them alien technology and weapons, such as the drug World Without Ends. That's a drug that they're taking during their conflicts. Quoting Sandy's liner notes, the new destiny unleashed in the heart of the American Rhineland, Promethean will and ability to storm heaven. Technology, which is the future to serve the evermore. A new drug, world without end. Man, kind of feels like we are living in that time right now. The precise identity of the Baron, however, is not quite so clear. The "he was me" line, in conjunction with the general premise of Imaginos, imply that the Baron von Frankenstein is simply one of the many disguises or identities adopted by Imaginos in service of L'Invisible End. So this is all part of a big concept album that this is the 5th chapter in this story. In this case, a German nobleman in possession of occult knowledge and advanced technology derived from it. However, Albert Bouchard advances a radically different interpretation in his Reimaginos project, in which the Baron is a separate character that grants Imaginos his shape-shifting abilities. Man, this is getting more and more intriguing. As the Imaginos storyline underwent many changes and revisions over the years, with Sandy even playing with the idea of Imaginos and his feminine persona, Destinova, being entirely separate characters at one point, it's likely that this contradiction reflects how Sandy's outline of the mythology was constantly in flux and subject to frequent alteration. Now, the bridge keeps going carpe diem, which means seize the day, obviously. Now it goes to a third chorus. He was me, and I was called Frankenstein. That's repeated 3 times. Then the outro, which, like I said, I couldn't understand. I couldn't really understand much of anything. But the outro is Frankenstein, world without end, Frankenstein, world without end, Frankenstein, world without end. Then the instrumental ending. That was awesome. No. I was looking for maybe there was like some kind of bio or about Elwood. Wow, dude, thank you so much. Blue Oyster Cult, folks. The Siege and Investiture of Baron von Frankenstein. Frankenstein. Well, the siege of his castle at Viseria. I think it's cool. I think the song sounded great. Joey is great. And great track. I'm really surprised I didn't hear something of it back in 1988. Totally obsessed with Queensryche's Operation Mindcrime going on. New drops from Crimson Glory and Fate's Warning and Metallica. You know, I mean, there were just so many great things that were coming out at the time, and I guess it just kind of slipped under the radar. But I loved it, dude. Thank you so much. The link will be right down below for you guys. Thank you for sticking around and watching. And like I said, hit that like, hit that subscribe. Really appreciate you guys. Guys, be good to yourselves, good to each other. I'll see you on the next.